1 year later, am I the jerk for skipping my dad's wedding to his affair partner? Original post. When I was 17, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. 2 years later, she passed away. During that time, my dad was rarely around, was always working or on business trips. My aunt and grandma were the ones who truly cared for Mom. About 5 months after Mom's death, Dad introduced me to his new girlfriend. I was furious, yelling at him about how quickly he'd moved on. Then they dropped the bomb. They'd been together for 3 years. My dad had been cheating on my mom while she was dying. His business trips were to see his affair partner. I was so enraged that I packed my bags and left his house. I haven't spoken to him since. I'm 25 now. The only family I speak with is the aunt who helped me when I left my dad's house. A few days ago, she called to check in, then asked if I'd heard from Dad. I asked why I would. She then said he was marrying his affair partner and that attending the wedding would help us mend our relationship. I told her, why would I do that? He's dead to me. There was a moment of silence. Then my dad's voice came on the phone, asking if that's truly how I felt about him. I immediately hung up. I realized he must have been with my aunt when she called. I texted my aunt, reminding her I'd asked her not to tell Dad anything about me, and she'd agreed. She texted back, calling me a jerk for what I said, claiming my dad was crushed and that I should move on by now. I didn't want to argue with someone who had helped me, so I blocked her. Over the next 2 days, a wedding invitation arrived in my mailbox. My aunt was the only family member who knew my address, and she'd clearly given my contact info to others. I was bombarded with calls and texts from my dad, uncles, cousins, and other aunts, all telling me to give him a chance and come to the wedding. Some even called me names for what I'd said. Even got a text from the affair partner herself, saying my dad was thinking of postponing the wedding and that I should just talk to him. For context, the affair partner was a friend of my mom and knew she had cancer. I told her it wasn't my fault if he postponed the wedding and that I didn't want a relationship with either of them. They were trying to force it. Things quieted down after that, but being called a jerk by so many people on my dad's side did leave me conflicted. Still, I'm sticking to my decision. Relevant comments, AI. Your aunt violated your trust. The rest of your family needs to be cut off too. Me. Yeah, I've blocked 39 numbers, but what my aunt did really made me sad. I genuinely thought she cared for me. It feels like there's a catch here for them wanting to reach out now, not years ago. AI, actually, I thought about this too, and you might be right. I got texts saying things like, it's a son's duty to take care of his father and your future. Kids would want their grandfather in their life. Me, on safety, thank you. I'm changing my number and updating contacts. My apartment is pretty secure. Can only enter after me or if someone buzzes you in, and you have to sign in with security. The elevator also requires a key fob. I'm hoping I don't have to move, but I'm keeping my options open if things escalate. A top comment from a user. Chill of Obama NTA. Your dad cheated on your mom while she was dying. And now the whole family is upset you've calmly expressed how you feel about it by A, cutting your dad out, and B, not attending the wedding. Your aunt also violated your trust by giving your contact information out without your consent. I'd say cut the whole family out at this point. Poll results show Op is voted NTA, not the whole mini. Update in comments. I sent a text to all 39 numbers who called or texted me, detailing what Dad did, and then blocked them all. I don't care about their responses. Update post. Hello. First, I want to thank everyone who commented and messaged me on the first post. It really helped me stick with my decision not to go to the wedding. I wanted to update earlier, but work has been hectic. After all the calls and texts, I sent a message to every single number explaining exactly what Dad did and why I chose to go no contact. Then I blocked them all. I've changed my number, but I've kept the old one in a separate phone to collect evidence if they try to harass me from random numbers. Luckily, nothing has happened, and I thought that was the end of it. About a week later, my aunt's fiancé showed up at my apartment. He knew what time I got off work and was waiting for me in the parking lot. I was apprehensive, but he assured me he just wanted to talk. According to him, the text I sent caused a storm in the family. Told me some cousins who didn't know The full story started questioning my dad and his partner. They became defensive and denied everything, but then someone confirmed it was all true. This led to a massive argument within the family, with some cousins even pulling out of the wedding. My dad wanted to postpone the wedding to talk to me, but the affair partner threatened to leave him if he did. News of what my dad and his partner did also reached some of their friends, who had also been friends with my mom. Several of them also withdrew from the wedding. This caused the affair partner to have a breakdown, and she started banning anyone who brought it up, family members included, from the wedding. According to my aunt's fiancé, she's blaming all of this on me, saying I did it intentionally. I just laughed. The wedding is somehow still happening. I asked him about my aunt and how all this started. Said all he knows is there was a conversation about how bad the family would look if I wasn't at the wedding, and my aunt offered to call me. He said he disagreed, but she did it anyway. He explained he was only there because he felt I needed to know what happened. I thanked him, but told him I'd be going completely no contact with my aunt, and by extension with him as well. He agreed, wished me well, and left. I won't lie and say I'm completely okay. I miss my aunt. I miss my mom. But I know what I did was the right thing. I'm currently staying with my girlfriend, and she's been cheering me up by coming up with absurd ways to ruin the wedding. As many of you suggested, I'm going to try therapy. Some of the comments made me realize I've bottled up a lot of grief and anger. I'm super nervous about it, but I also feel it will do me good. So once again, thank you for all your comments and advice. Ciao. Comment on girlfriend's ideas. The very first idea she came up with was, let's go to the landfill and catch some rats, then release them at the wedding. It got progressively worse from there. Obviously, this is just for fun, and I have no intention of going anywhere near that wedding. But reading some of the ideas here has given me a good laugh. Update 2: hello. I don't know if I'm doing this right, but I logged in today and saw a lot of messages asking what happened and how I'm doing. I wasn't sure if I should write this or if anyone would even see it, but here it goes. For everyone asking what happened at the wedding, I don't know much. All I know is they got married. No one from that family has contacted me since, and I haven't gone asking around either. I'm at peace with it. Asterisk is for me. Things are different now. First, I want to thank everyone who reached out and asked how I've been holding up. Your kindness means more than I can put into words. I'm getting better, slowly, though the journey hasn't been easy. A lot has changed since my last update. I'm single now and have moved to a new city. It's my ex, who I'll call Mia, and I separated. About 4 months after my last post, we had celebrated 2 years together in March and talked about our future, but I was a mess. Therapy started well, but I quickly realized just how many unresolved issues I had bottled up from losing my mom. I was struggling emotionally, crying randomly, worrying about thoughts that I might somehow turn into my dad, and spiraling with fears I couldn't control. Asterisk, Mia had dreams of marriage and kids, and I knew I wasn't in the right place to give her the future she deserved. Would have been very selfish of me to ask her to stay until I got better. We had a long, honest talk, lots of tears, and ultimately decided to part ways. It wasn't easy, but it was the best decision for both of us. Mia and I still cared for each other deeply, and she, along with my friends, checked on me every day after the breakup. I wasn't left to face things alone, and for that, I'm so grateful. In July, I was offered the chance to move to the head office of my company in another city. After discussing it with my therapist, I decided it would be a good opportunity to change my surroundings and start fresh. In September, I made the move. My best friend used 25 days of his 30-day holiday to help me pack, move, and settle in. I can't overstate how much that meant to me. I have incredible friends. Asterisk, since then, I've been taking things one day at a time. The new office has been amazing. Everyone was so welcoming, which was a big relief since I'd been anxious about starting over somewhere new. I now attend online therapy sessions twice a week and in-person grief counseling here. It's been helping a lot. I'm in a much better headspace than I was before, though I still don't feel ready to date again. And for now, I'm focusing on my career and on continuing to heal. Once again, thank you to everyone who has supported me, whether through messages or just by caring enough to check in. Story 2. Emergency C-section. Husband wants divorce. Original post. This is a throwaway account because I want to fix this and I'm paranoid about more people in our lives finding out. It's already so messed up and I don't want more stress. My husband to 9M and I30NB have been married for 5 years. I gave birth to our first child, a girl, in September. My husband was present for most of my labor, but things took a bad turn and I had to have an emergency C-section. The doctors told him to leave the room and wait outside. In short, he did not see our daughter born. A week ago, he informed me he wants a divorce to start over on his dreams of having a family. He insists he cannot bond with our daughter and says it's because he didn't see her born. Said a lot about how it's always been his dream to have a small, close-knit family. And now he can't have that with me because of the C-section and his not being in the room. His dad suggested therapy, but my husband refused, saying he knew it wouldn't work. I've made sure he knows I'm open to the idea if he changes his mind. But he's been very insistent that he knows this can't be fixed. Part of me knows I'm basically asking for a magic spell here. But does anyone have any ideas how this can be fixed? If it can, I'll try to answer any questions. Sorry if the flare isn't correct. I'll just guess update 1. I wanted to update and thank everyone who sympathized with me and tried to help. There isn't much new, but some things have happened. I can't link my first post here according to the rules. But these 2 posts are the only ones this throwaway has, so it should be easy to find. TL Doctor. I30NB gave birth in September. Things went badly, and I needed a C-section. My husband to 9M did not see our daughter born. Insists he can't bond with her and wants a divorce to start over on his dream of having a close-knit family. Several people suggested asking him to come with me to a therapist so I could get help understanding why he's leaving. He agreed, and our appointment was yesterday. Didn't go badly, but it didn't go well either. He was very upfront with the therapist. He didn't try to mince words or refuse to answer questions. He told them, paraphrasing, they got to bond the entire pregnancy. That baby is made of their body. Can't compare to that. My work started at birth, and I wasn't there. So I don't feel like I ever got hired, if that makes sense. He compared it to not having an employment contract. I get the metaphor, I guess, but I'm not sure how it translates to him not being able to bond. Several people made transphobic comments, and several others asked if maybe my non-binary gender was an issue. I assume no, because my husband had known that I'm non-binary since before we started dating, but I did bring it up while we were with the therapist. My husband insists that no, it has nothing to do with anything. He didn't care about what I am, but how I did. The therapist was very focused on trying to help me understand, and I appreciate that. No complaints with him. I'm still completely in the dark, though, and my husband has started talking about choosing a lawyer. He says he wants a clean break before our daughter gets too attached. TL Doctor to situation. I'm still leaning towards letting him just go and focusing on myself and our daughter. Update 2. This is probably going to be long. And it isn't a happy update. My other posts can be seen in my post history. But the short of it is that I30NB gave birth to my daughter in September. My soon-to-be ex-husband 29M did not see her birth. Things went very badly, and I needed emergency intervention. He was not in the room for the C-section. About a month and a half ago, he informed me that he cannot bond with her because he did not see her born, and he wants a divorce so he can start over on his dreams of a close-knit family. We have filed. I've taken our daughter and moved back in with my parents, who aren't very happy about the divorce, but are thrilled to have the chance to nanny daughter. Their words, not mine. Life was in stasis for about a week after my last post until my father-in-law asked us to come over for dinner. He informed me that my soon-to-be ex had asked for his help paying for a lawyer. He had agreed with the requirement that we all sit down and have one last talk about the situation. He opened by saying he thinks getting this over with would be best for me and our daughter. My soon-to-be ex looked a little hurt at this. So he's willing to help, but he wanted to take one last shot at fixing it. That one last shot ended up being several hours of talking. My father-in-law bluntly demanded that my soon-to-be ex explain his reasoning. My soon-to-be ex repeated that didn't see birth, can't bond thing. My father-in-law asked why the employment contract analogy was brought up again. After much back and forth. "What do you mean by this? Why that?" My father-in-law just said, "I'm not buying this." What's the real reason? My soon-to-be ex insisted till the end that what he'd been saying all along was his reasoning. He did not see our daughter born, so he can't bond. He tried, he insisted the connection isn't there. He was supposed to connect when our daughter was born. There was supposed to be a spark of connection between them. That spark can only happen right at birth, I guess, in his mind. He can't get it now. My father-in-law asked if my soon-to-be ex thought our daughter wasn't his. My soon-to-be ex insists he has no doubts she is his biological father. My father-in-law asked if my soon-to-be ex was seeing someone else. Was there a woman or another pregnancy somewhere? My soon-to-be ex did not react well to this. He threw his phone down on the table and said that we were free to search it. He's not a scumbag. After that, the conversation turned to post-divorce life. My soon-to-be ex offered up that he'd been running the numbers and would volunteer $50 a month in alimony and $50 a month in child support. He claimed he doesn't have to do either because we're divorcing and he wants to cut all ties with the kid. But he wants to be fair. $50 in alimony? Whatever. I have a job and a roof over our heads. I don't need it. $50 in child support? That is a lot less. Whatever. But I'm refusing to stress about it. The court will handle child support amounts. I'm making myself not be angry and let them deal with it. I admit I tuned out most of the rest of my father-in-law's attempt to talk sense into his son after that comment. I think that was when the coffin finally nailed itself shut. I started packing when we got home and went to my parents' house the next day. I'm no longer talking to my soon-to-be ex. His lawyer talks to mine. We haven't spoken in almost 3 weeks. I don't think I need to tell you that he hasn't shown any concern for our daughter, but here I am anyway. The day after I got there, my sister kidnapped me to her place. We got very drunk. Daughter was with parents, not us, talked about everything, and I screamed a lot. I got most of it out of my system. After that, we had more drinks and watched terrible horror movies. I woke up the next day with a headache from hell, but otherwise feeling better than I had in a long time. My job can't transfer me, just my luck, but I've been promised a glowing reference. And I'm cashing out what little paid leave I've left to add to my savings. My father-in-law asked after the failed conversation if I would be cutting him off. I assured him that he might not see us as much because of how far away my parents live and not knowing where I'll end up. But he's not getting rid of me or our daughter, that is Ali. He was very happy to hear that, so that's where I am. Papers have been filed. Our daughter and I have moved out of the house. I'm doing my best to ignore my soon-to-be ex's existence. Thank you all again for listening to me cry and complain over the past couple months. Update 3. I promised an update once things were over, and at this point, they're mostly over, so here I am. My story can be seen in my post history, but the short of it is that my 3-1 NBX husband, 29M, did not see my daughter's birth and decided that because he wasn't there, he couldn't bond. So he and I are divorcing, and he's going to start over. Our daughter turned 1 this month. She landed on Nodder as her first word. I suspect this is because my father-in-law brought home a foster to-adopt dog a few months back, whose previous owners called her Nod or Nodder. Daughter loves the heck out of this dog, you guys. My father-in-law sends me pictures of her every day to show my daughter. My ex-husband and I are just waiting on some final paperwork for the divorce to be complete. He's not contested anything. He did look the judge in the face and repeat the whole didn't see birth, can't bond thing. His lawyer did try and defend that claim. He presented studies that he claimed said things about damages to bonds. When fathers weren't present and actively involved for everything, but my ex-husband was involved, he was there and active and involved my entire pregnancy and was present. For my entire labor until things went wrong, it wasn't a case of, oh hey, you knocked someone up 5 years ago, now bond with this kid. Our daughter was definitely less than an hour old when he held her for the first time, probably less than half an hour. And I had proof for this claim too. Among other things, I had pictures of the two of us at multiple prenatal appointments. My father-in-law was also willing to file a statement talking about how my ex and he were involved in my pregnancy. Needless to say, the judge was not impressed with my ex's lawyer's arguments. He tried to push my ex for therapy, Made comments about how my ex would regret this later. My ex stood stubborn with his "I need to start over" line. He has visitation. For the paperwork, care to guess if he's used it? He does also have to pay child support. If you've read my post history, you might remember that he offered me a gigantic $50 a month. That's all he's been paying, despite the judge ordering a lot. More so, that's a fight I'm going to have to steel myself for. I'm surprised he started shortchanging me before the divorce was even final. But he did tell me in front of my father-in-law that he's not a scumbag, so in his mind, he's probably just keeping true to his word or something. He's shown no interest in our daughter. No other children, pregnancies, or potential partners have popped up either, as far as my father-in-law can tell. My ex is single and not showing any interest in dating yet. I don't know how I feel, really. It would make more sense if he was cheating. It would be easier to have something solid to point to go into a tornado for making my life fall apart, and then try to move on. But all lived evidence points to him honestly thinking he has to do this. I'm in therapy. I found a place about halfway between my parents and my father-in-law's. I'm still doing freelance work. I would rate myself okay. Daughter is happy, healthy, and kicking. She will be fine. I plan to never speak to my ex again once this paperwork is done. Just have to wait to be able to totally start over myself. Thank you. You for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.